Hey there everybody, Vic Moss again. This video will not be as long, I promise, and we're not even going to talk about the National Defense Authorization Act or the Countering CCP Drones Act. We're not done with the final vote in the Senate yet, so it would be a waste of my time to record something like that and a waste of your time to watch it, but we will have something next week on this. I wanted to do this couple things here today. One I wanted to do yesterday, but with the things that went on yesterday with some interviews, I didn't have time. So one will be about the customs issue we're having with DJI, and then I'll also talk about a little bit more about the New Jersey stuff that's going on, the silliness in New Jersey, stuff I didn't get a chance to say last night. But so first, let's talk a little bit about the customs issue and what we can do about it. And that's the important part, is what we can do about it, because we have to act fast. Today is Saturday, the 14th, and it's about 10 o'clock in the morning. And like I said, I wanted to do this yesterday but didn't have time. But this is something we need to act on now, like immediately after you are done watching the video. What we need to do is reach out to our elected officials, and we have a link here, and I'll put these links below as well. You literally put your address right here, and it tells you who your members are, your representatives and your senators. Reach out to them and ask them to contact the subcommittee, Border Security Enforcement Subcommittee of the House, and the Subcommittee on Governmental Operations and Border Management in the Senate. You'll find both of these here, all this information here. With the House, actually it's really nice and easy. You just click on you click on the representative, and it takes you right to their website, and you've got all their fun contact information there. And in the Senate, it's a couple of different things. You can read the biographies, and then it takes you to the contact page. Or you can visit their website for the non-chair members. So there you go. That's easy to do. But what I would like you to do is basically reach out to them and say, look, we've got to get this DJI border issue settled, and settled now. The industry really needs this equipment. This all stems from the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act, which is a legitimate act, definitely something that needs to be done, but it's being incredibly misapplied here. Let's say it that way. Basically, what's going on is somebody, no idea who, I don't want to speculate. I have speculated before. I'm not going to do that for this video. Has asked, or even inside the Customs and Border Protection Agency itself, has decided to implement this law that's been on the books since June of 2022. So it's been on the books for a while, over 2 years, but they've just now decided to use it to keep DJI drones, and only drones, by the way, out of the country for the most part. It's getting a little better, but it's still, we're seeing all the time that private people who have ordered from DJI are having their shipments held up, and they're getting emails and letters from DHL asking them for all kinds of information, ID, firstborn. No, obviously not firstborn, but just all this information just so they can get their little Neo, or even up to including some of the enterprise level stuff. But the bigger problem is that dealers are also in the same boat. Dealers are not getting the gear they need to sell to their customers, and that is really, 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 really hard on them. It's hard to run a business when you can't get stuff to sell your customers, and there's no reason for it, really, at this point. The Uyghur Act, unfortunately, is a guilty until proven innocent type act, and so once somebody decides to enforce it, either within the agency itself or from outside pressure from Congress, then it's up to the individual, or the entity, and the company in this instance, to prove that they don't use Uyghur forced labor. So very unfortunate. But reach out to your elected official. Reach out to the House and the Senate subcommittees that work and have oversight with CBP, and ask them to please take care of this. It's hurting the business. It's hurting families. It's hurting small businesses in the United States. And that's unfortunate. It really should not be going on. We should not be part of a political game. It's just not. It's not right. So do that. Tell them to get it going. Fix it. DJI, to my knowledge, has supplied all the questions or answers to their questions that they reached out to. So it's in your court, CBP. Act accordingly. You're hurting businesses. You're hurting families. You're hurting people, and it's incredibly unfair to use this unproven. So okay, enough of that. The second thing I wanted to do, and by the way, that is important. Please do this as soon as you're done watching the video. Go to the links below. I'll also have a link, probably not right away, but eventually, to my Twitter account, my X account, and you can forward that and then tag your folks in it as well, and tag the people in the subcommittees, because it needs to be done now. If we don't get it done next week, it's going to be a while, because next week is all they got left to do. All the Congress has left to do is pass the NDAA, so the National Defense Authorization Act, and the continuing resolution to fund the government. And once that's done, they're going home for Christmas. So either they come back in January after the inauguration, or they don't come back at all if they didn't run or lost their election. Either way, this has to be done now, or else it's not going to get done until January, and that's too late. It really is. It's very unfortunate. Okay, now I'm done, I promise. Let's talk about my interview last night on the Bottom Line on Fox Business Channel. I did not get to say everything I wanted to say, and I knew I wouldn't. It's not like they're going to just give me a blank for half an hour and let me keep talking. They have their agenda, just like every other news agency has their own agenda. If people think the news agencies don't have agendas, they're asleep at the wheel, which is fine. I get that. Everybody has an opinion. But some of the people reached out and said, well, they cut you off, so they didn't want to hear what you were saying. And I can sort of understand that, but I don't know if that's true. Maybe the segment ran out of time. That's fine. People are saying, well, yeah, but you insulted the president-elect, President-elect Trump. I didn't, but if that's how people want to take it, that's fine. I didn't insult him, but I did call him out on something he said. He has mentioned on more than one occasion that in this case here, mystery drone sightings all over the country. Trump wrote in a post on Truth Social, this can't be happening, blah, blah, blah. Otherwise, shoot them down. No, Mr. Trump, please. I urge you to take that back. I urge you to put something else out that say, no, don't shoot them down, because as our past and future commander-in-chief, you should know better. If you'd like to talk about it, hey, I'm open. I'm easy to find. You're the president, or you will be. You can find me. If you know somebody, if somebody here knows somebody who can get me in touch with them, I would love to do that. I am under no illusion that'll happen, but hey, if you don't ask, it ain't going to happen, right? It's reckless. It's asinine for anybody to say that, president or kindergartner, whatever. It's asinine. It's illegal. On the interview last night, this is what I said.
Sort of no official response. One of the things that even the president-elect has said, look, if we don't know what they are, let's take them down and figure out what they are. But taking them down is tricky, right? I mean, so like you can't just do that in the neighborhood, right? So if you're going to do something like that, how do you do it?
You don't. Let's just dispel that myth right now. Actually, really incredibly disappointed in our president-elect for stating that. First of all, shooting down a drone is the same thing as shooting down a 747 legally. We are protected under 18 U.S.C. 32. And the illegality and aside, the idiocy and danger behind it is, first of all, if it's a legitimate drone, let's make sure we say if, then you're powered by lithium polymer batteries, and you puncture a lithium polymer battery, you've got a fire on your hands. So you've got a dive bomber basically, and if you shoot it down over your neighbor's house, your insurance is going to be rebuilding your neighbor's house. But since so many of them are also, I don't know if I want to use the word also, but let's say so many of them could be manned aircraft. If you shoot down manned aircraft, you don't even know what the implications are there. So no, shooting them down is out of the question, 100%. Nobody should do it. No, just don't. I mean, there's no excuse for it, really. So obviously, just don't do it. Okay, enough of that. Some of the other things I want to talk about that I didn't get a chance to talk about last night, which, again, I totally understand. If they didn't want to talk about, that's fine. One of the things I want people to really realize who are paranoid about this, and you can share this as well to help people who are paranoid about this, they're spying on us. If they're spying on us, they kind of suck as spies. I'm just going to say that, because all we're seeing are things with lights. And if you're going to spy on somebody, you're not going to put positioning lights on your aircraft. You're not going to put strobes on your aircraft. You're not going to put landing lights on your aircraft if you're going to spy with it. It's just stupid. So they're not spying on us. And if they are, they suck at spying. So we're not too worried about that, right? I really, 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 really want to encourage politicians and government officials, whether it's anybody from a sheriff to a mayor to a town council member to a senator to the president, hello, to please just tone down the hysteria. Okay, yes, we need to get behind what's going on, but you don't need to add to the hysteria. It's not helpful at all. It's actually very damaging. A couple other things I wanted to say. Did get to mention it briefly, but I want to go down this path a little bit more. Is we as humans don't normally walk around with our heads looking up, whether it's daylight or night, simply because we're no longer at the bottom of the food chain, if we ever were. We're not the little rabbits. We're not the mice that have to constantly worry about something swooping out of the sky and picking us up for dinner, and not to take us out to dinner either. So we don't do that. We're past that. We just don't walk around looking up. But now a lot of people are, and not for the first time, obviously, because they've looked up. But now they're looking up with more of a determination to see things, and see things they don't know what they are. So we're seeing a lot of these people say, UFO, UFO, or actually drone. Drones are the new UFOs. Because it used to be, it's like if you see something you don't understand, it's a UFO, and now you sound silly. Now you say drone. Still sounds silly, but that's personal opinion. So we're seeing more things. People are seeing these things that they really haven't noticed before, and they're crying drone. So I get that. I understand. People don't understand something. They're scared about it, and they see what they want to see. Let's just leave it at that. But let's talk a little bit more about what you are seeing. A lot of people say it's low and it's slow. Well, that's not necessarily true. When you see something in the sky, at night especially, not so much during the day, but at night, you don't have scale. You don't know how far away it is. You don't know how fast it's going. You just don't have scale to compare it to. The vast majority of the time. Case in point, A380, whatever, 737, whatever, flying around at 36,000 feet at 300 miles an hour looks an awful lot like something flying a whole lot lower, like at about 1,000 feet at 20 miles an hour. There's no way to tell which one it is. So we're seeing a lot of that. It flew low and it flew slow. You don't know that. Sorry. Somebody with experience looking up in the sky like I do can't tell. I mean, I think I have a good idea about what it is, but I can't tell for sure. I can't say with 100% certainty that something high and fast is not low and slow. It's just the nature of the beast. We're also seeing people report that they're coming out of the ocean, hence the Iranian mothership conspiracy. Or fathership. Why does it have to be a mothership? Why can't it be a fathership? Anyway, I digress. Their airports in the area have recently changed their landing patterns, and now a lot of those patterns are coming in from over the ocean. So understandable. Again, you've got something in the sky, you don't know what it is. It's no longer a UFO. You want to be a little more credible and call it a drone instead. So that's quite possibly what we're seeing. Also, somebody I have great respect for and talked to this week said that they actually went out, spent 3 hours staring at the ocean, watched the sun go down. And as the sun went down and it got dark, you can see lights on the horizon from the ships that are anchored out there, the ships that are moving out there. Ships do have lights as well for obvious reasons, obvious safety reasons. And if those ships are moving, they're moving pretty slow and they look like they're pretty low. So again, now we're back to the scale issue. So just because something's out there doesn't mean it actually is what it is. Another issue, there have been meteor showers tonight and last night. Last night and the night before, I should say. Maybe tonight too. I don't know. And I actually had a drone pilot reach out to me and show me video of one of these drones. It was a meteor. Actually, it was, I think, 3 meteors, or one as it broke up. It was kind of hard to tell from the video. But he got video. He got video of a meteor shower with the drone, which is pretty freaking cool. Not a whole lot of people do that. So congratulations on that. You know who you are. And the other thing I want to say, I thought about not saying this, but I'm going to anyway. When a person of authority, be it a law enforcement, be it a sheriff, be it a city council member, state senator, state rep, federal rep, whatever, somebody with an air of authority comes out and says something that they don't know what they're talking about out of ignorance, ignorance being the non-pejorative sense, Ignorance just means I don't know what I don't know. I'm pretty darn ignorant about quantum physics, so there you go. You sound bad. You don't sound smart. So really, please roll that back a little bit. You don't need to come out and add to the hysteria. And not knowing what's going on, not being able to report what's going on, is also making the same state level, city level, federal level agencies and personnel look bad. So let's figure out what the heck's going on and get to the bottom of this, because it's not helping at all. And then the last thing I want to say is this is to all the drone pilots and the drone operators out there in New Jersey and surrounding areas now that it's expanded. Please don't fly alone at this point in time. There's too much hysteria out there. I know of one person in particular who reached out to me. He was flying in New Jersey. I want to say Wednesday, I think at this point, possibly Thursday. I don't remember exactly. But he was flying along doing his job like we all do. Or if you're having fun, like you're having fun. And somebody came out and harassed him and blamed him for what's going on at night. Don't put up with that unless you really just want to, but I strongly suggest you don't. And don't fly alone. I think it's really important right now that if you're flying commercially or if you're out flying for fun, don't fly alone. It's not worth it. It's not worth the hassle. Something's going to happen. Somebody's going to get hurt. And if somebody does come up to you, now might be a good time to invest in a body cam. I have one. I don't wear it very often, but I do wear it. I do have it. If I feel the need, I'll put the link below. It's not an affiliate link. I'm not making any money off this. It's just this is the one I use. If you don't have that, you've got a phone. If you see somebody walking up to you and feel threatened, get your phone out and start recording, please. It's really important that you do that. And worst case scenario, or even if you want to, dial 911, especially if your drone has been shot down. And if it has been shot down, dial 911 immediately and mention there's a person with a gun. Because there is, whether you see them or not. It's not worth it to wait until you see somebody with a gun. If your drone's been shot down, they have a gun. It's that simple. And so mention in 911 that somebody with a gun has shot your drone down, and then the cops will come out ASAP. Don't put yourself in a position where you have to defend yourself. It's not worth it. If you need to just pack up and go home, pack up and go home. But record while you're doing it if you've got somebody harassing you. It's become an issue. And honestly, politicians and social media and Nextdoor.com and places like that are not helping the situation at all. So that's all I've got. Again, I didn't want to make this super long today. I will have, as soon as we hear anything from the Senate, I'll have another video out next week. And please, please, please be careful in New Jersey. Help spread a little bit of logic into the fear that's being so blatantly put out by people who have no business putting it out. We'll find out, hopefully, one day what this is. But in the meantime, don't freak out. Don't let people freak out. And then also, of course, please do reach out to your senator and your House of Representative and the subcommittee members of both the House and the Senate subcommittees that do take care, or I shouldn't say take care. They have oversight on Customs and Border Patrol. And please have them reach out to the CBP and say, hey, look, y'all need to address this. The Uyghur Act is being misapplied here. You've got the answers you need to the questions you ask. So let's get it over with so our businesses can get back into business and our retailers can start selling stuff again, because after all, that's how they stay in business. Thanks again. Fly safe and have fun. Bye.